This is the scariest journey of my life. This is the first time I will be entering a boat from marine base Port Harcourt down to Okrika. Moving from marine base to Okrika by road will take me roughly 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours, but going from marine base to Okrika by sea will take me just 10 minutes. And so I decided to embark on the scariest journey of my life by traveling through the sea for the first time ever. So here we are all putting on a life jacket, and before we move, we have to pray.
I cover them with the blood of Jesus. No weapon formed against them shall prosper. Whatever that made them to leave their houses, they will come back with testimony. In Jesus' precious name.
So after the prayers by the pastor, we take off the journey and we are moving. Right now we are at the middle of the sea. Bye bye to marine base Port Harcourt, and we are heading all the way to Okrika. One thing that makes this journey so scary to me is the fact that I don't have any swimming skill. I don't know how to swim, even on a swimming pool. So embarking on such a journey when I know if anything happens I cannot swim makes it very, very scary. But unlike me, I see every other passengers that are on board the flying boat with me, they are very, very relaxed. They are relaxed, not afraid of anything, but then it's forcing the same case with me. At this point, I began to remember everything that I have read or watched about the sea. I began to remember about sea pirates. I began to remember about the story that we heard sometime in the news. The story of a man called Joe Blanton who lost his life on the Calabari Eponema waterway when the boat that was taking them on a trip had an accident, and unfortunately everybody drowned, but he managed to rescue about 13 persons in that boat, but unfortunately he lost his life. I also remember the story of how my neighbor lost her elder sister. She told me that the elder sister was traveling somewhere in Calabari, and unfortunately they were attacked by some sea pirates who want to steal the flying boats. So they have to order all the passengers that are on board the flying boat to jump into the water and swim to safety while they go away with the flying boat. Unfortunately for her, when she jumped into the water, the blade that was on the engine that used to power the flying boat hit her on the leg, and her leg got broken and she was unable to swim to safety. So that is how she lost her life. Some other persons lost their life as a result of that accident, while others that were able to swim to safety, they survived the attack. And in that operation there was a 10-year-old girl that also survived the attack, and the incident that happened that time, it was on the news and everybody was aware of it. So these are some of the things I began to remember about all the evils of sea pirates and all what they have been doing and I struggle hard to remove such thoughts from my mind, but then it persists. And at this point, I must confess, I was gripped with fear and anxiety, remembering all this while we're on top of the sea. And to make it worse, you can see we are having some kind of turbulence. You can see the way we are bouncing. We are bouncing like a ball. We are having some kind of turbulence while I was thinking all of this. Contrary to what I was thinking earlier, I used to see the sea to be one isolated place where nothing is happening. But then I was wrong, because I see that there are a lot of things going on deep on top of the sea. There are a lot of companies that are operating in the sea, some oil and gas companies, some companies that are into marine services. A lot of things are going on in the sea. And I saw some very, very big ship that have been there for months, and people are right there on that ship working for weeks, for months, without going to the shore. And then, just from nowhere, this is where the unexpected happened. Especially for a first-time traveler like me, this is where the unexpected happened. As you can see right now, we are not driving. As you can see right now, we are just there, stagnant on the sea. The engine went dead while we were still on transit, and the driver have to work on the engine right there on top of the sea. He worked on it. It took him like 2 minutes. He did what he did, and luckily for us, he on it, and the thing came back to life, and we continue our journey. But then, for a first timer like me, being stagnant on the water, oh man, no is small thing. So this is when we have continued the journey. Now we are moving slowly now, before we now accelerated into full speed. If you're like me, who is entering a boat for the first time, I think I will advise you to board a boat that have 2 engines, because anything might happen right there in the sea. In the situation whereby one of the engines stop working while people are still on transit, they can easily switch to the next engine and continue the journey. But if it is just one engine and at the middle of the sea it became faulty, then there is actually a big problem, especially for a first timer like me. Imagine if you're entering a boat for the first time and you are just stagnant there for like 30 minutes. You won't know how far. Somebody like me, I must have fainted and wake up like 3 different times. So finally, as God may have it, we are approaching the seashore. So you can see we are close to the land now. We are almost in Portharcourt. So thank God for Johnny Mercy. Thank God for taking us safely from Marine Base down to Portharcourt. So welcome to the land of Portharcourt. So what you're seeing far down there is a bridge that is currently under construction by NDDC. They are building a bridge that is going to connect Portharcourt to Portharcourt. So that is the bridge, and we arrived the jetty safely. So welcome to the land of Portharcourt.